Hello and welcome back to another outdoor session of the Blackford Book Club with added ducks floating by on the River Severn as I'm here in my spiritual home of Ironbridge. Now, last evening this was a cracking idea, however the reality is it's rather cramped where I am. I shouldn't be where I am. I'm actually on fishing peg number 12 right on the banks of the River Severn and I've got no room to move. This is the best angle I can find, and this is my self-published book Ashes to Ashes that I'll be reading from, a fairly brief chapter entitled Aussies Cruise to Brisbane Victory with a Day to Spare. They say it's the hope that kills you, and this morning was full of hope for England, for Dawid Malan, for Captain Joe Root, and for a possible exciting test match ahead that could extend well into day 5. But it's the hope that kills you. Yesterday I half-jokingly stated that England would be skittled by tea. This morning I hoped the skipper would still be batting at tea and his team 100 runs ahead and possibly setting up an exciting first session tomorrow morning. After losing 8 wickets for just 77 runs and yet another of those vaunted England batting collapses, they barely made it as a team to the lunch break, let alone enjoying an afternoon tea in the bowels of the Gabba. Alas, it's the hope that kills you. Australia had but a handful of overs to bowl this morning before they could enjoy the luxury of unwrapping a brand new red cherry and really taking the attack to England. But their visitors only made 26 runs against the softer, older ball and lost Malan, Root and Pope in the process. England went from a commanding overnight position of 220 for 2 to 234 for 5 in the blink of an off-spinner's eye, that off-spinner being Nathan Lyon or Gary, Gaz, Gazza or indeed Goat, as he took his 400th test match wicket and finished the innings with figures of 4 for 91. Before the innings and indeed another batting collapse had ended, Ben Stokes received yet another unplayable delivery and fell for just 14. Butler wafted at one from Hazelwood and gave Carey another catch behind the stumps, and the England batting tail was gently blown away with a minimum of fuss. England had to be batting them with wickets in hand come the tea break. Instead, Australia will knock off the 20 runs required for victory in a matter of minutes after the lunch break and take a 1-0 lead in this 5-test series. In happier news, it's been a fun morning here in the UK as first, the main worldwide Fox Sports feed went down, power outage apparently, then it came and went again, then resumed with just one camera from each end, evoking memories of Botham's Ashes in 1981 and their rudimentary and limited camera angles at the time, before there was a total blackout again and I had to resort to the beautifully traditional Test Match Special, who because of virus restrictions had to take their radio feed from ABC Grandstand Australia, another throwback to early mornings of old back in the late 1980s, and listening to a grainy feed on a transistor radio and just about connecting to a signal. Strangely, writing this particular paragraph has pleased the inner 14-year-old in me and one of the many and varied reasons why I adore watching Ashes cricket at 2 AM, half a world away. But alas, England are heading for a heavy defeat. It's the hope that kills you. It's now 3:11 AM local UK time and the Australian machine looks well oiled after knocking off a simple 20 runs for a commanding and dominating 9-wicket victory. The hope may kill you, but here's some positives for England. Malan and Root scored positive and commanding runs and are off and running in the series. Mark Wood has been sensational with the ball and must play in the next test, as must their world-class talents of Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson. England also need to wrap Robinson and Stokes in cotton wool before the second test, but I'll leave you with some even more positive English news. The ultra positive news is that the next test in 5 days' time is a day-night match, and this would ordinarily suit the swing bowling of Broad and Anderson and indeed the high-octane stuff from Wood. Plus, here's the real rub, dear reader. If you are a novice to Test match cricket or prefer the razzmatazz of the one-day version that begins to resemble baseball far too much even for this massive baseball fan, or indeed you find cricket slow and dull, day-night Test match cricket is pure cricketing theatre. The ball is apt to swing around corners under the lights, batting is incredibly difficult, more high percentage shots taken, more cricketing drama unfolds, and oh so importantly, the kicker is the matches start at 4 AM UK time, not midnight, So even if you dip into the cricket at say 8 AM breakfast time, you could still see 4+ hours of wonderfully exciting test match cricket. So I shall rise like a phoenix once more, but at a slightly later time, and if I were you, which of course I'm not, but if I was, I'd treat yourself to a cup of tea and a biscuit or two and relax into some early morning test match cricket. It does wonders for the soul. See you in Adelaide. And that's the end of that particular chapter from a book I'm immensely proud of. There it is, in Ironbridge. And I hope that the background gives you a reason for my ridiculous love for this place. I lived here for a while. I've been here off and on for over 2 decades, and whenever I'm in the vicinity of those sweet chimes and the sweet bells of St. Luke's Church, I just feel as though I'm in a different time zone completely, and that dreaded outside world just doesn't exist anymore. So I leave you, as I always do, even though this is a test run and I may not ever show this to anybody. I leave you in peace and in solidarity, and thanks very much for watching. Peace. Ah! Oh, it might work, I don't know. I'll have a look later. I wish I could get a better angle, you know, even though I can't see you now because I haven't got my glasses on, so that doesn't help. This is Ironbridge though. I'm going to carry on. I'm just going to carry on talking. This is Ironbridge, and I blooming love this place. Look at that reflection in a still river of the bridge. It's just beautiful. If you cross the bridge, you're onto Toy Town, as I call it itself. You've got St. Luke's Church, you've got the old-fashioned sweet shop, which is run by my friend Jeremy. You've got the chip shop, run by a very flirtatious lady by the name of Samantha. It's just a wonderful place to be. If your travelling feet ever bring you to central England, avoid Birmingham like the plague, and come here, because you will not believe that 10 minutes from the train station or 10 minutes from a terrible town centre called Telford, you will be in a completely and utterly different century altogether. Anyway, peace.